Hello, my name is Fimbz, and I am going to be playing Super Meat Boy. Any percent, no major glitches. Give me a moment while I make sure my computer doesn't die here. Okay, this is what I wanted. Alright, every time I tab out of the game, there's like a small chance that Super Meat Boy possesses every other program on my computer to stop working. So for those of you who don't know, my name is Fimbz. I've played this game off and on since probably 2015. This is going to be any percent no major glitches category. Major glitches pretty much just meaning that we're not going to do anything like wrong warping, which somehow does exist in this game. We're going to use a couple glitches, but they will be minor. Okay, if everyone's ready, I am ready. Let me check Discord a third time just to make sure that I have the green light and my computer breaks. Okay, I'm just going to assume that it's good, because I don't think anyone's telling me otherwise, so let us begin. So, in Super Meat Boy, each chapter only requires you to beat 17 levels out of the 20. So that's all we're going to do. We're going to beat the 17 fastest levels, and then we're going to skip to the boss, beat that, and then we're going to go to the next chapter. So, the main tech and glitch that we use in this category is something called auto jump, which is whenever you see me pause really quickly and then unpause, what I'm doing is activating a glitch that makes the game think that I'm jumping on every single frame. And this is useful for climbing or for hitting tight jumps that require a very small window to hit. And you'll see it quite a lot in the run. Oops. Another thing you'll see a lot of in the run, well, you won't really see it, but another thing that I'm doing that you should be aware of, but you probably won't be able to visually tell, is something called sprint jumps. So basically, if I jump off of a wall and immediately let go of sprint and then re-hold it, I will get back to the wall quicker than I would have otherwise, which allows me to climb walls faster, and it's used in a lot of places. I should be at the... Oops. Alright. I was supposed to exit to the map, but I exited to the main menu. This is all very normal, guys. I've played this game before. Trust me. But, we have completed 17 levels, and the boss is unlocked. So now we're gonna do the boss. This is just like an avoidance thing. You just have to get to the end and not die to the giant robot guy, who is being manned by a fetus. And then you just have to wait for him, he'll get stuck in some saws, and then you win. Yeah, it's all RNG manip, trust. So in the hospital, not a whole lot of new mechanics are introduced. The difficulty of the levels on average is slightly higher, but mostly it's just you swap out saws for needles in a lot of places. And there are a couple of new things that we'll see soon. But for the most part, it's just purple, and there are needles. So we have these fans. Normally they have little effects on them, but I play on ultra low detail to save time on loading. And because it removes certain elements from the foreground that would hide, like, surfaces sometimes. So I prefer to play on ultra low. But the fans are pretty straightforward. They push you in whatever direction they're facing. I cannot beat this level. The closer you are them, the harder they push. And they can be used pretty well in a couple places. think my game is lagging slightly. If you also don't know, literally any time this game is run at a marathon, it is cursed with technical problems, even when you don't have them any other time. It has happened almost without fail every time it's at a marathon. This chapter also kind of introduces these key blocks. They're also pretty straightforward. You pick up a key and it'll start unlocking a series of blocks somewhere else. And then you can, you know, go through them. So, one thing that I haven't touched on but I've done in a couple places is something called storage. Storage basically means that whenever you end a level, if you're touching a wall or a floor, that state is stored the next time you spawn in. So I used it there to kind of get a wall jump at the beginning when I wasn't touching a wall, and I'm going to use it here as well to make a tight cycle combined with auto jump. So, without storage, that cycle is not impossible to make, but it's pretty difficult. This is Chad. Basically, the way this fight works is you get a series of keys, and then the blood rises, and you have to dodge him. We're gonna abuse the fact that slightly off-screen you won't die here to get this key faster than intended, and to make the fight skip a cycle. And we're gonna use auto jump here to get a tight timing jump, and then it's over. But yeah, the idea of not dying slightly off screen, even though it looks like you should be out of bounds, is going to come back later. And it comes back in a bunch of different places in longer categories, but this one it only is relevant in 2 places. This is the factory. Now we exchange needles for salt. And then we will see some other new elements in the environment soon. The first of which is this conveyor belt. Conveyor belts can be horizontal or vertical. The vertical ones are more fun. They allow more things you can do with them. But the horizontal ones are fine too. Oh. That's not good. So the vertical ones you can jump into and get a kind of boost. Go way faster than you normally would. And that's really useful in a lot of places. Here I'm going to try to skip a part of this level by doing a precise landing on this. Oh, I saved it, but I didn't think I saved it, and then I doubted myself. I'm just going to play it safe here. You can skip that third conveyor if you do a cool trick. Oh, we have missiles now, too. There are these seeking missiles that fire at you from these launchers. That's going to be really common for the rest of the game. Yeah, my game is jumping around a bit. This happens sometimes. The other really janky thing in this game is moving platforms. They almost never behave like the way you'd expect them to. So here we're going to try a kind of precise skip. I'm going to get ahead of this platform here and get this key kind of fast. Use auto jump to make some tight jumps again. This trick is kind of precise, but it's pretty cool. The next level has another hard skip that is pretty tricky, but allows us to save quite a bit of time if I get it. Nice. So, this is where, we're gonna go out of the stage again. This is supposed to be like a race, but if we go to the right there, there's no wall there, and there are some maggots that are supposed to kill you, or some salt that's supposed to kill you, but if you sprint jump, you can get around it, and then we just skip the whole race sequence. So on to hell. Again, we swap out salt here for lava. And everything is black and red. Gonna try for a precise skip here. If I don't get it first try, I'm probably just not gonna try for it, but this is the infamous hex. Got it first try. I'm the greatest to ever do it. In my opinion, this is the best chapter in the game. Levels are difficult, but not long enough that they're super annoying if you die. There's a lot of really cool skips. Just good gameplay, I think. Oh, we have portals now, too. Which are... I mean, they work how you'd expect them to work. There's not really anything super crazy you can do with them, but they're cool. You clip that corner, you pretty much just die, unfortunately. So, we also have these eye lasers now. So something we can abuse about these is that they track you, but they're not particularly quick about it. So I can use it there, like, for example, to get out of that little corridor before it catches up to me. So here's another example of auto-jumping really good for, like, tight spaces. I just shmove up that really fast, because I can jump on every frame. So again, we're going to abuse the fact that the eyes don't track very fast here. That's a cool level. Oh, and then instead of missiles, we have these things, which split apart into, like, smaller missiles that don't seek you. Yeah, Hell is definitely the coolest chapter, I think. So we're gonna go to this level because it's fast. Whoa, okay, so there's an example of this game just being super janky. I have no idea what just happened. That's never happened to me before in my life. I did not get hit by the missile, but I just kind of died. This boss is kind of just an avoidance sequence. He just does scripted moves. But if we line ourselves up with this line right here on the right side on the platform, and we just stand here, all we need to do is avoid his swipe moves, and we just win. So like here, I don't have to do anything. I just survive. So this is the main time in the run where you can stretch your hands, drink water, stuff like that. Like from this point forward, this fight requires 0 input from me. One thing I do want to mention though is at the end of this fight there's going to be a fade to white. And the fade to white is going to persist into the beginning of the next chapter, and it's going to require that I do a jump in the first level of the next world blind, which is kind of tricky. So here, in Rapture, we trade out the lava for maggots, and I have to do this jump blind. Went a little too far right, but... yeah, you have to do that jump blind because of the way that fade-out sequence works. This is easily the least favorite chapter in the game, almost like unanimously throughout the community. Levels are really long, they're really punishing, strats are hard, the boss is RNG. It's just bad all around. So we have these repulsors that are similar to fans, except they push you away in all directions. They're not super interesting. Whoops. Ugh. I definitely feel like I'm dropping inputs. It's okay, though. Wouldn't be the first time it's happened to me in a marathon. So here we're gonna exit to map to skip this auto-scroller. And now we have these zombie boys, which are miserable. Because they only behave consistently on the very first play of a level. And after that, they behave differently every time. Oh, I messed this up. Ah, I was like a second early on that jump. That's okay. But this level is kind of miserable because you have to deal. If you die once, then it's just inconsistent from there on out. I can't believe he caught up to me. He's so fast. Let's go get these guys over here. Okay. Yeah, that level's horrifying if you fail it once. Here, the saw on the right is slightly lower than the saw on the left, and we could just lead these guys into this while we wait for this key to drop. Alright, shoutouts to Shredberg. This level's easy. So that's a warp zone. Those have way bigger hitboxes than you think, and I have gone into that warp zone on accident many times. This level is kind of hard. Okay, got it. This level we're supposed to go back and forth and get some keys, but I'm just gonna go along the outside of this wall here instead and do a series of sprint jumps. And skip all that nonsense. So there's actually a moving wall of maggots coming at us from the left on this stage, but if you're fast enough, you just never see it. We're gonna skip like a 30-second level by just doing that. And here we're gonna use some missiles to break walls. The end of this level is really satisfying if you do this strat. Alright. This is the last level in the chapter before the boss. The boss is infamous for how RNG it is. Larry is a series of 3 worms, and it's just random whether or not they jump into the saws. We can make the chances slightly better by doing a buffer here, and buffering this animation. The way this works is the worms cannot jump at the same time as one another, and on the first jump they have a higher chance to jump of subsequent attempts. So if you desync them at the beginning, you could potentially get 2 to jump on the first cycle when it's more likely. But we didn't get it. I mean, I got the buffer, but they didn't jump. So now we just have to wait. This is just RNG. Alright, that was pretty friendly, Larry, honestly. That's acceptable. And now we just have the end. Instead of being 20 levels, the end is 5 levels, and we can't skip any of them. We have to do them all. And they're pretty long. So these levels are really punishing to die on, but they're not too bad otherwise. So this is a half block. For some reason this game doesn't handle half blocks very well, and when you have to encounter them, they behave really strangely. So like, I was getting my jump kind of eaten there for a while, just because it's a half block. This level, we're going to try to make a kind of tight cycle here. It's not horribly tight, but... Oh! My input got eaten. Okay, made the cycle. Bonked on the ceiling. So on the next level is gonna be the last level in the chapter. We're gonna do a kind of precise skip to save getting a key. That would require some more movement. But we're gonna do an auto jump combined with a weird walk-off late sprint type deal to avoid getting this key. Whoops. Ah. If you get stuck in that corner, you can save it, but it's really hard to react to. Get in there. I am joking. Please. Let me in! Let me in! No! I'm outside the White House right now at the fence. Okay, we got it. No, dude. Oh. This is not good. But it's okay. We'll be fine. Okay, I just started sprinting too early there. But that skips getting a key, which would be slow. Alright, so the last boss here. This is just an avoidance sequence. There's two, like, saws, or towers of saws here that we're supposed to avoid while also dodging Fetus's, like, rockets. But if we're quick here, which I might not be, no, we're fine. We can get outside of the towers, and at this point, this kind of trivializes the level. We can kind of just move at our own pace here, and wait for Dr. Fetus to catch up. So now we just stay in here and wait for him to get to us. So we're gonna do a kind of looks like a magic trick here. When we're standing on this button, we're actually invulnerable to these saws, so they just kind of pass over us. And then this escape sequence and time is coming up. Basically, you rescue Bandage Girl, and then you just gotta get to the end. This is essentially the last level, but in reverse. Except we're gonna abuse the fact that the ending trigger extends outside of the room you begin in, to the left. So you'll see what I mean when I get to the end. But there is a trigger here that extends out, and we can abuse it like so. There we go. That's time. Oh, underestimate by 1 second. God, I am so good at video games. Thanks for having me. Thanks for watching, y'all. This run was below average, but we made it underestimate, which is all that matters in the end, so. I will let the credits roll, and then, yeah. I should have had this run be 1 second slower so I could have just be so accurate in my estimates. I think what I might have done is there's a program we use when we run this game called Riva Tuner, which caps our frame rate at 60 so that the game doesn't behave weirdly. And I think I might not have actually turned it on. I think the program might be open, but it might not be set to the Meat Boy profile. It might also just be that the game is whack and sometimes does this, but what can you do? The credits say the end, find out in the Dark World, but you never need to play Dark Ending, you only need to play any %. 17 deaths, not bad. Alright. Yeah, thanks for having me. Am I good to cut stream? I don't know when I should be cutting stream. But I'm donezo.